Hello, good morning, and welcome. See if I can get myself on screen. There I am. All right. Good morning. Welcome to the world. Thank you for logging in. This is Glebe, and I am with you with another episode of the Midnight Technician. Good morning, Castiel. So, I am live in a couple of places. So I am live here on YouTube, as you see, obviously. Durr. But I am also live in my Discord. I am in a voice chat in my Discord. If you want to jump in, just be aware that your voice will be recorded on stream if you happen to jump in. So yesterday I had done a little bit of work on the project. I had introduced a roles, so that users, when they log in, can be verified for more than just a user role that we were assigning by default. So now we've added. Let's take a look at the code here. I guess little morning thought. I kind of thought to myself that I live stream this stuff in my Discord channel anyway every day. So why not just come on in the morning every morning, just for a couple hours, live stream what I'm doing with the Midnight Technician, kind of give a blog about what I've done the day before, and then do some just general live coding. So, where I will be doing some vomit speak about just my thought process and just kind of thinking as I go. The idea here is part of my blogging the creation of this production ready application that is open source. The idea is I want to encourage other developers. I want to get people in the mindset of a developer. So I figured, why not just live stream the whole process, record as much as I can of the whole thing, blog as much as I can in my Discord, and just kind of give people a full out insight from thought to production and everything in between. So that being said, 90% of this is off the cuff because, quite frankly, I obviously have none of this planned other than just the overall vision that I have for the software as a whole. So that being said, let's have that morning coffee, sit back, and let's code. So I'm going to get rid of my big self and try to activate myself in the corner. Hey, there we go. Look at that. I'm in the corner again. Although I realized that is probably not the best position to put me in, so let me just wiggle myself down here so that you can actually see. Because I realized when I was watching back the last live that you couldn't see the database stuff that I was looking at because of my fat head in the way. So I totally decided to just stick myself in the bottom here. Harsh, thank you for joining. Welcome to the chat. Thank you for logging in. I am Canadian. I am over on the East Coast where the lobsters crawl. All right, so you also can see that I've also added a new module to our project, which I did take a clip of that, a quick video of how to create a module and add one. So I added the employee module. This was in a way to extract it from in here. There was a feature, there was customer, device, and there is employee. So I just basically took all the stuff out of here and tried to extract this employee out and refactor it. So technically that can be deleted because that's no longer used, which means that this table in my database can also be deleted because it is no longer used. Cool. So so we're refactoring this because these core services I mainly wanted to take care of. I don't even know what I wanted to take care of. Honestly, I made it. It was a monolithic part, and I've been sort of refactoring it out for this microservices design. So this will probably just retain and be something like maybe customer, and I might refactor it more, or I might just get rid of it altogether in favor of MongoDB, because honestly, I like Mongo over Postgres personally, um, mainly because I like being able to just take a POJO or a JSON and just stick it in the database rather than taking care of all this relational mapping. But that's just a personal choice. I think I've mentioned that I was going to go with that from the beginning. So yeah, I added up a employee section here so that we can configure a database. We have employees where we have the controller. The controller allows us to register a new employee. We have a way to update an employee, and we have a way to get a single employee based off their email address. Now, when we're creating a new employee in the service layer, into the service layer, that's down here, we have ways to check to see if a user exists. We have a way to check to see if to get a DTO of the object, as well as a way to get the actual record. And then we also have a way to save, just to simply save an employee record. And then down here we have a way to update an employee, which just returns an employee. And then because generally the way I had planned that out was, well, we'll get into that when I get to it. We have a way here for creating a new one, and there is specifically. That's cool. That made it a Java doc. That's cool as shit. I forgot that was Java docs now, the 3-line. Cool. All right, so some of these things in here are specifically redacted from modification so that we can't just accidentally pass in a DTO with a modified data and have it be modified, because there's specific things that we don't. If you see the two here, there are specific things that we create, like their created times, for example. There's things like when the account was created, which is not. Oh, look at that! Isn't it? Apparently, I left it in there. But there's certain things like that that I had taken out because I didn't want them to be technically modified. Because like, you're updating an employee record, you're technically not going to change the date they were created on unless it's like it's generated by the system as like a local date time now. But anyway, this is just the rough. The employee model itself here this is what we're keeping track of in the model. And then of course, just a couple of methods inside of our repository layer, or our data layer. So that was how I created the employee side. So if we come down to our services tab and turn on our main services, and then turn on our ticketing service and our employee service, that is our 3 microservices that make up our back end. So just a lot of people talk about, a lot of videos I've seen mention things like microservices and what they are and yada yada, but like, this is you physically seeing 3 microservices running and that make up a back end. They each run on their own separate port, so they have their own databases. They all have their own connections, and yeah. So this is the back end. Now let's go take a look at the front end. So on the front end, this is where a lot of the magic happens here, for the security aspects of stuff. So in here, where's my fragments? So the header has been updated so that I did not do that apparently. Okay. changed the manager role to, or management role to just manager, just because it was easier and made more sense to me. So there's still the owner role, which gives you access to, which is going to give access to a dashboard that I need to write in the future. This dashboard here is basically going to consist of things that the owner, or like the owner would need to see. So things like creating employees, revenue, invoices, things of that nature would be on the owner's dashboard. Manager is going to have a different view. This one here, I'm currently working on. It is going to be um, more of like an employee view, so you can sort of see all the employees, see all the tickets, kind of see what's going on, kind of deal. You can view a way to view all the customers and whatnot. We're gonna take advantage of paging as well, so that we only get the first few results, and then we have like a see all button to go into it, and then we'll build pages out for viewing all that. The employee, if you happen to have a role of technician, you'll see this ticket dashboard header. Let's just turn this on and go to localhost, just so you can see this is the home page, what it looks like. Registration, I didn't do anything with that. That's still the way it is. Sign in, I didn't do anything fancy here. But we will, if I can get my shit right, we'll log in. By default, you go to the customer view. We can potentially change that later, but this is what the customer view looks like. The header, because I have myself some roles, I have access to the user dashboard like always. But now, because I have a technician role, I can see the ticketing dashboard. Because I'm an admin, I can see or a manager, I can see the admin dashboard. And because I'm an owner, I can see the database button. So if I go to the ticketing dashboard, this is roughly what I've got so far. It's not the cleanest, not the best, but I'm also not a front end guy. So this is an idea where your people will be able to come and see open tickets and tickets that are claimed, and then I need to make a way to view history down below. I'll just be adding another section in for that. So how we load this, if we go into our controller dashboards, this one is the technician's the ticketing dashboard. So you'll see here that there's this pre-authorized annotation. This is using Spring security to make sure that a specific user has a specific role in order to even access this method, or this endpoint. So it's kind of an extra layer of security, where we do have it on the header to say that you can only see these if you have the role. That doesn't technically stop anybody from just punching in the URL and going there if they didn't see it. This here will allow you to verify that anybody that hits this endpoint not only has to be logged in, but they also have to have a specific role in order to get that resource, or that website page that you have. So whether this was a REST controller or just a regular controller, and the difference between the two, if you don't know the difference between a REST controller and a controller, in a nutshell, a controller will return basically a thing of just straight up raw data, raw text, which is why we can say at the bottom to return a string that is a dashboard, which links to a dashboard to an HTML file. Because if we click on it, or middle mouse click on it in IntelliJ, it takes you directly to where it's at, or where the declaration is. In this case, we're returning a bunch of string, which is an HTML file. So the controller just returns a string, basically raw strings. Think of it like that. Whereas a REST controller will return you an actual object, like a JSON object, or whatever it is that you're looking to return as a resource. It's kind of the point of being RESTful. But yeah, so in here we have to be a technician, and then we take advantage of the internal REST client for now to make external calls to our employee service, our ticketing service, so that we can grab some information about the logged in user, who they are. This is the point of grabbing this. And then we grab the two tickets, the opened and claimed, or the unclaimed and claimed, which I need to fix on the back end. That's why you see double. So I then take these objects that I've just created, and I take the model that I pass in as the parameter, so that way I can say, okay, I want to add an attribute to this model, and the attribute, for example, is employee, or open tickets, or claim tickets, and then I pass in the POJO that I want to as the representation of it, so that way, when I am inside of the dashboard, I can do things in here like replacing text by simply calling employee.firstname. Employee comes from the fact that I made this guy named employee, and then this comes from the fact that the DTO, because the DTO is a record. I'm just going to point that out. Because the DTO is a record, I can do things like making method calls. So that's why I have this first name with the method call on it. So that way I'm looking to call the employee.first name as if you would in Java when you're calling record methods or record fields, which is a huge thing, and which is a big reason that I do web development now, is thanks to Timeleaf. Timeleaf is the template engine that we're using here, which also allows me to do things like this, and allows me to break down HTML code into more almost object-oriented like code in a way. Because again, I can divide up individual things, like this here is my header, and then I just define it as a fragment of header, which is like making it its own object. Because then I can go into every page that I have, and I stick the header in there, reused every time, but it allows it to be a little more clean, in my opinion, in the sense that I don't have to rewrite that, and if I want to change something, I don't have to go through all of my files and change it, which is what I used to hate back in the early 2000s when I used to do web development. It used to be very painful, very, very painful. Yeah, so there's a few things in here that I need to do, like these open tickets. I need to this right here is just the two big buttons you see up top, saying how many tickets are pending, how many are in progress. Boom, boom, boom. The two buttons don't do anything right now, but they're there, kind of like the Allen Lisp. So down below, I need to, you'll see here that I am making the header part of it here, which is just this image, this SVG image, here, text, and then the number over here of how many are in it. So in here, I can take advantage of, what the hell did I do there? I can take advantage again of Timeleaf, and I can say, okay, get me using the lists module in here, get me the size of this list. And that way I don't have to pass in extra data. I can just basically do the similar thing to just a list.size as if you were just in straight up Java. Down here in the ticketing grid, this is where it also gets cool. So here's where we're doing a for each loop. Okay, this is cool. I like this in Timeleaf. So here I say each ticket inside of my open tickets, I want to go ahead and do something inside of this div. So this is like going inside of a for loop for Java developers there. So this would be the same as for var ticket : open tickets, do something. And then in this case, I'm saying, okay, I want to get the ticket ID and stick that up on top, which is where you see ticket 1. Then I want to stick the status of unclaimed next to it. That's where, and the status comes from the CSS file that is fucking massive. But you can change that as well. I just have it as orange for the for unclaimed. I think I have it as green if they're finished. But anyway, it goes through here again and again. I'm pulling out more information, and I'm just calling these as if I was calling methods right out of the. You don't always have to have the parentheses at the end of it if you're calling it by the direct name. When I was doing it at the top, I was calling it by method name. So like you could technically, if you had a method inside of that file, we could technically call that method and have it execute the method and yeah, get you the result. But this allows me to write again, just like Java's for each loop allows me to write once and just iterate over it for each thing in there, which creates the 4 tiles. And I absolutely love time leaf. And then I do the same thing down here for open tickets. I use the list, get me the size of this, and then for each ticket inside of here, populate information. Yeah, so that would be the ticketing dashboard that I finished. The admin dashboard is just a straight welcome. Just bare bones right now. I have to add more to it. However, today's little adventure was going to be about. Oh yes, no, I need to show more about the roles. Where are the roles at? Configure. No, I didn't put it in there. It's in shared, I think. So shared, I had added roles. So this is just an enum of the different roles that we have. I went back and forth on how I actually wanted to do this. I was very undecided whether I wanted to just have a database table of roles and just stick in all my roles in there so it was easy enough to edit in the future, which I think I might go with because I've been back and forth, and I don't know. I went with an enum way to show you a basic way to do it at first. My middle mouse on this user profile service. I've got a back end where I haven't. This is not a full implementation yet. I still need to finish it. I just kind of pieced together some things yesterday. But this is my user's role service where I can be adding the roles because I was going to make it so that some of this can be handled from the front end. Things can be added to a DTO object that then gets stuck in later. And I was trying to save. No, sorry, this one here, I was trying to save them into the user's role column that I had. Again, I went back and forth on it, and I did make this, which is where it's pulling from right now. So it's pulling my roles from here, but the names of the actual roles is the thing that I've been going back and forth on. So I started thinking I was going to put them in here, user roles, and just give it an ID and a role name. There's nothing in here right now, but this is where I was thinking about storing roles so that it was easy to add later instead of just being here. Let me know what you guys think as a community. What would be better, leaving it here as it is, or sticking all of these into a database so that it can be updated and changed and added to without service interruption. So if we go into our, how did I put this? Into the user detail services, I believe. this is where I am handling the roles. So in here, when a user first logs in or attempts to log in, we verify that the user exists first and foremost. Because if the user themselves don't exist, um, and I could have done this as a fail fast, and you'll hear people again. This all comes down to personal choice. Um, Sometimes you'll see a lot of developers talk about fail fast and how you should do fail fast first. And that would just basically fail fast would be if I inverted this basically and said if the user doesn't exist, then throw this error. Um, so for example, I would change this, I would move this up here. And then I would drag everything else outside. So this way if there's any chance to fail, we're failing first and foremost so that we know everything else is solid and good to go afterward. Um, Depending on the developer you talk to, fail fast is the way to go. Other people say that it's kind of a waste. Others, you know, it depends on who you talk to, honestly. Um, and I'm actually going to get rid of this in favor of no, null marked. Yeah, there we go. I'm using the null marked annotation because it comes from Spring 4, and I'll have to do a video on it, honestly. But it's a better null safety way that Spring Boot is going with, and I think it's great. But it helps assure that projects are null safe versus Java's like unneeded fucking obsession with being unsafe. Okay, so yeah, if the user doesn't exist, it's going to throw an error and log it saying that user doesn't exist, user not found. Otherwise, we're going to we're going to see if we have a cached user because we know that they exist obviously now. So we're going to get that. We're going to get that user. We're going to map that user to a custom user profile. So here's where we're going to reach out to the database and find all of the roles that this user has. So that comes out of this table here. So this is going to then fetch all of the roles for a specific user. And then it's going to take those cached roles. I probably should make sure that it's not empty first, but it's going to take those cached roles and it's going to map them to a new simple granted authority, giving the name that it's provided. And then it's going to map that to a list, and we're going to then make a new object. We're going to return a new user object with this email, the encrypted password that they had, and all of their authorities. And that is how we then give a user some authority when they log in after they've been authenticated. So yeah, this is also one way to do it. It's not the way. There is no technical golden goose way that I know of. It's all down to personal choice and personal and like implementation. depending on the company you're with, they may do something different. They may take advantage of things like an Active Directory. Like it all depends on your company and your style. And with this project, I'm trying to keep this as Java as I can, and I'm trying to keep it as basic Java as I can. So I'm trying to keep it limited to 5 languages at most, including the front end. So that's HTML, JavaScript, CSS, and Java right there. I got one more language that I might use in this. I'm not sure what, but I'm intentionally not using React or any major frameworks for the front end because I want to keep this simple. I want to keep it Java as I can. That being said, my coffee cup's getting a little chilled, so I will be right back in just a moment. I just have to go top up my coffee cup. And I am back. Sorry about that. Can't run low on coffee. Those of you that know me know that I have a slight addiction. All right, so that was the role-based login, and yeah. So today's little adventure is going to be, what the hell am I gonna do? So I've got my employees going now. I need I got the employees. I got the. So now I need a way to create an employee manager's dashboard kind of view. Yeah, I don't know. Let's figure it out, I guess. I apologize if I go kind of quiet now. I'm just trying to figure out what it is that I need to do next. I mean, there's a lot of shit that I need to do, but could fix that because this should not be returning double tickets. And I don't know why that's returning double tickets. Let's go find out. So claimed and unclaimed. Yes, this is the paging here that is in here. So by default, we're getting up to 15 results unless you specify otherwise. And that's just by using an HTML parameter, like question mark size equals 10. And then we're going to go into the service layer and request some tickets here. And if the size is not provided, then we go with 15 by default, which technically we know the size is provided here as 15. But if somebody happens to provide a negative, then some reason, then we're going to correct it to 15. And then we're creating the pageable request that is going to be sorted by the created date. So this is going to find all of those results, and then it's going to make a filter to see if they are not closed. And then, of course, it's going to check to see if the employee name is not blank or it is not assigned. And then it's going to map them to a DTO and return a list. Down here, we are looking to check to see again, because we want things that are they're open but not claimed. So here is where I'm getting confused at my result, because I'm asking for all of these, same idea with the paging, find me all of these, and then I'm checking to see if the ticket again is open. I want to make sure it's not closed, and then I want to make sure that it is blank or unassigned. So the ticket should either, so let's look at the tickets. These are the service tickets, and the view has changed. So if I was to look at a service ticket, I can see that the employee ID is in fact not blank, but it is in fact not assigned. So I can see that clearly. So in here, I want to filter to make sure the ticket is either blank or not assigned. And so this is the only, they're all technically unclaimed. So so the thing that partly confuses me here, these are all unclaimed. These are saying that they're claimed, or like, so how are my claimed ones being claimed when this is specifically saying not? Like, they're all saying not assigned, every one of them. So theoretically, my open tickets should be returning everything. My that's my goof up. I just have this written wrong on my front end. Okay, so why am I open things that are not claimed? Open. Good job, Mike. Oh my god, I was high when I did this. Cool. Hey, welcome to the chat. See, we have another guy. How are you? Hope you're having a good morning. Hope you got lots of coffee. Alright, so open unclaimed. These are open. These are open unclaimed. Should just be open. No, I want open unclaimed, and I want active, so open. Okay. So these ones are open and claimed. Yeah. Those are open and claimed, yep. Those are open and unclaimed. Okay. So the open, unclaimed, and anything that's claimed. So why is my claimed? So claimed is wrong. So why is that? What am I missing? What am I missing? Claimed tickets. Find all. Filter them to be, not closed. Okay. Okay. So the employee ID is not supposed to equal not assigned. Did I fucking spell not assigned wrong? Like, what the hell? Because this should not be returning. Hmm. Well, that might help. There we go. No found. There. That's what I want. How did I fuck that up? Cool. Okay, so that's gonna say that. And do I have a way to recognize if it's empty? Let's find out. Cool. Error, because this has no found. Cool. Okay, so let's rearrange this to be... Okay. Fuck off, cats. Fucking assholes. Sorry about that, guys. My cats decided to go on a little fighting spree in behind me here. So I'm gonna use I'm gonna just do a little status check here to do this. Okay, so now I can go back and do this the other way. Cool, and I'm gonna do the same thing for, what do I got here? Why am I returning false, though? Status new thread. I don't know. Yeah, let's try that. We're gonna add this status check on here as well, so that I can go back to the body on this one. Get rid of the janky shit that I added in favor of the other janky shit that I'm adding. Cool. I just return false instead. Fuck. Not the same fucking thing. Whatever. Interesting. So that did nothing. That did nothing. Well, I guess I can just return an empty list. Instead of doing this shit. What if I return a new response entity? What if I do that? What if I do that in ticketing instead? Because now I just get a 204 with an empty. Okay, well, let's see if that shit works. Cannot get the size. No. Where are we trying to get the size at? What? Okay, let's take a look at this. Okay, cool. So inside the ticket dashboard where it's trying to grab the size of the claimed list, that is saying that it's basically null. Cool. But claimed tick. Okay. Okay, so this is coming back with nothing. I'm understanding that right? Let's put a breakpoint here and see what's up. All right. So I did get an employee DTO. I have open tickets. And claimed tickets is actually null. Okay. So claimed tickets, I need to do a check. Cool. Cool. Okay. So let's do a copy. So we'll do a little null safety checks there to make sure if these are null, we're just going to return an empty list, so that way the website doesn't throw a conniption fit. There we go. So now I've got no active task tickets because there's nothing that's assigned to anybody. These are all just unclaimed tickets. Perfect. Now I got it working the way I want it to. Cool. I love live debugging. I love when things work exactly the way you want them to. Especially when people are watching. It's great. Okay. So, what did I do? Why are you in there? Why are these build files in here? Front end Gradle. Is that shit not in the Gradle, like the git ignore? It is. What? Why the fuck? Okay, can somebody out there explain to me why these excluded files are not excluded? Like this whole thing is in here, like it should have been ignored. And I do not understand why they're not ignored. If somebody in the comments can explain that to me, that'd be great. That's so weird. Cool. Should have been ignored. Awesome. I love when that goes well. All right, so here we corrected manager. Corrected role, okay. What I'm doing here, guys, is just atomic commits. It just makes it easier in production if something goes wrong, say. I never actually wound up using that logger, so I guess I can get rid of that. I'm just kind of reviewing what I did to make sure what I changed. This here was null safety for the lists. I'm just doing atomic commits. Atomic commits are just small little commits that make it easier if something in production goes wrong. You can roll back a specific commit rather than this big ass massive cluster of work that was done that now you need to cherry pick through and add extra work. So if you do things like atomic commits, it makes it a little bit easier if it goes sideways to roll back specific things versus um, versus rolling back if you were to put like everything into one commit and then just push it like that. I don't know. Over the years that I've been doing stuff, I've made mistakes like that in the past and watched production pretty much shit the bed. Yeah. So like just to be on the safe side, like I've always done atomic commits. It was actually something that I learned from a guy on LinkedIn, Frank Moley, I believe. I believe is who I learned atomic commits from a couple of years ago, and by couple I mean like 5. Okay, so what did we do in here? There we did fail fast. There are some practices to follow when you do commits. I don't, I preach them, but I don't always follow them. I'm kind of bad for that. Um, so when you make a commit, in my opinion, they should be short and to the point. Usually, if you have ticketing logging systems like Sentry, you can include or if you're using things like a Git tracking, you can include the issue number, and it will actually be smart enough to pick things up. At least GitLab, I know is. GitHub, I believe is. If you're using the issue trackings and you submit a commit for that branch that associates like number, whatever the ticket number is, it'll actually associate those and automatically close those tickets for you as you push them. The other thing that I'm doing that I'm not supposed to be doing is I'm pushing everything and I'm working personally on the main branch. Ideally, when working with teams and whatnot, you would take the branch, you would make a new feature branch, call it whatever the feature is that you're working on, and you would do all your code into that feature branch. Make sure all your tests pass, everything is good, and then you would create a pull request to have that branch merged um, into the main or the master branch generally. But where I am trying to get this all technically set up to a point where it's ready, for now, I am pushing everything and doing everything on the main branch until I get it to the point where it's like ready. In which case, then I will be following my own best practices, and I'll be starting to make feature branches and pull requests as well. Um, but for now, I'm just trying to get this up and off the ground. Uh, also, you'll see that the admin dashboard also requires the role of manager to access as well, much like the technician requires technician or ticketing requires technician. But again, somebody can have multiple roles, so this you don't have to say has any and match all of the roles that need to be in here. You can just simply say they have to have at least this role. Um, so that makes things a little bit easier as well. So like an owner that happens to have manager and have technician and all that would be able to get into their into the applicable areas. Okay. So I'll push this shit that I did. And I'm gonna pop into my backend. I don't know if I don't think I changed any of the shared files, but I'll do that anyway. I'll come in here and see what I did here. Okay, so cool. So that's everything updated there. I just updated the project with everything that I got right now and work and as it is. Should probably lower that fucking logging level from error to warning. Or debug maybe. Whatever. I'll deal with it another time. Okay, so okay, so I've got a backend is good for all of that. So front end needs to be able to claim or create. So my admin dashboard needs a way to create employees. List current employees. Okay, okay. Okay. I need more coffee. I will be back in just another moment. Yeah, bear with me. And I'm back. That was quick. All right. So, all right. So get out of the ticketing area now. We're gonna go into the manager's view and fuck with that. All right. So Let's go into this guy, I suppose. How am I gonna steal this? What do I want this to look like? Bada boom, boom. Oh, I should fucking. Should get AI to fucking generate this HTML file for me. What if I could? Can I pass this shit into fucking ChatGPT and be like, build me a employee dashboard, manager dashboard? Oh, whoop, not that. Oh, can I tell it to do that? Like, I'm fucking curious. Let's see what it can come up with, guys. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's see what it comes up with. Probably should have passed it in what an employee record was so that it knows what the fuck that is, but oh well. Let's see what it comes up with for my admin page. It's not bad. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Let's see what it looks like. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Let's see what employees, customers. Okay, so this has some information I gotta pass into it. Cool, cool, cool. So what's it look like in an ugly view? Oh, that's gross. It's kind of cool. That's not some bad. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. I like it. I like it. I like it. Kinda. Kinda sorta. Kinda sorta. Kinda sorta. Um. Hmm. That's not bad, Jippity. Good job. So, if I go into this, no, let's not go into that. Let's go into here. Ticket dashboard. Let's copy paste this. Change this to manager. Add it. Stick this in there. Get out of there. Out of there. Duplicate this. There we go. Do that. Da 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 da. Okay, so my controller needs to have an employees, customers, ticket, resolved. Ooh, I like that. Okay. And I gotta pass in a list of employees. Pass in a list of recent tickets. Okay, so I don't have a way to get recents yet, but that's not a bad idea. Okay. So let's hit the controller and let's cool. Thank you, Chippity. Fuck yeah. I like that. Cool. That worked. For those of you that don't know, I don't usually use AI for generating shit, but that was kind of cool. I got a buddy of mine that vibe codes all the time, and I don't know. I make fun of him. I tell him that my idea of vibe coding is sitting here with music going and just fucking cup of coffee, smoke a joint, and go. His idea of vibe coding is talking to AI and being like, "Hey, do this." Fucking blows my mind. So dashboard, dashboard. Here we go. So this is the actual employee. Okay. So I need a way to get all of my employees. Which could be potentially bad. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, okay, okay. I need a list of customers. Cool, cool. So backend employees. Do I have a way to get all employees? I have a way to get a single employee. Hmm. Okay, so there's a way to find all employees. Okay. So now I would come into here, employees. Uh, Maybe employees. Now I need a way to get all customers. So I don't have a fucking customer module. Instead, I have this shit as part of this base core. Okay, so do I have a way to get this? Post, get a specific, get this. I do have a way to get all customers. Okay. Why is this? What? Okay, so we're gonna make this into a response entity. Okay, so that's better. But that's the way to get all customers. Okay, so if I okay, so that's the customers added, right? V1 customers, V1 customers. Yep. List. Okay, cool. Yep, that's gonna return the list of customers, return the list of employees, return a single employee EDO. Okay. So next I need a way to get all active tickets. Okay, so this just needs a number. So I need a way to get active and resolved ticket count. Okay. Back end. Into ticketing. Okay. Um, so what do I need again? I need that numbers, is it? Or what am I doing? Okay, so that's employees. Size of recent tickets. Okay, so I need a way to get recent. Top customers. What the fuck is that? Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna have that. Yeah, I don't know if I like that top customer idea. I think that sounds more like a fucking... That sounds more like kind of a high score deal, like making a game out of it. Who has the most problems? Me. I have the most problems. You too, Cassiel? Okay. I'm not alone. Alright, so I need a way to get recent tickets. Okay, so I need a way to get number of open, number of closed, recent. Okay. Hmm. Now I need to figure out what I need to do for recent tickets, and what that's going to consist of. Hmm. So, okay. So what am I doing here next? Recent tickets. That's where we are at now. I gotta get a list of recent tickets. Okay. So I need to get a list of recent tickets, which I guess I'm looking for a list of all tickets. That, so recent, I'm going to assume recent is going to be 7 days. I don't know why, but I just feel like 7 days sticks out in my head. Um, hmm. And I guess I'm going by the creation date. Okay, let's see if figure this out for me. 'Cause I'm fucking lazy right now. Um, hmm. Oh, can I use a I add a Mongo query to a fucking ticket repository? Can I? Okay, so I want a collection of service tickets. Um, find all or find by okay, okay, that's looking good. After, whoa, look at that. Fuck, yes, there's no way that's actually gonna work. bu- 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 bu. Okay, 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 okay. So I want to a public list service ticket. No, service ticket. Find all recent tickets. So um, oh, that's cool as shit. All right, cool. -7. So that will give me 7 days ago. So now I want to query my ticket repository. Find me. What the hell did I just call that? Find by created. Oh, yes, baby. Let's stream this bitch so that I can map it. Service ticket, map to DTO, and we'll return a list of that shit. No way that works. That's too fucking easy. Cool. So next I want to implement that, I guess. Yeah. Cool, let's implement this shit. Alright, so this is a get mapping. So employee tickets. Um, okay. So that should get me the count of open and count of closed. And now I need to be able to tell it to grab me the recent tickets. And then we can go back to the front end and take a look and see how that looks. So another get mapping. So let's rerun our, this was the ticketing, I believe. So we'll rerun ticketing. And we'll rerun the services because I think I touched on that. Cool, 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 cool. Let's go back to our front end. Bitch, you're supposed to be snug with that. Okay. Okay, so website. Let's stop that bitch and rerun it just to... Wait, what? Why did that make a second one? That was weird. Okay, so we're into here. Our ticket dashboard still works. And our admin dashboard shits the bed. What did I... Property of role from the employee DTO. Oh yeah, I guess I gotta finish adding shit to this. The employee DTO, that threw a null. Looking for role. Line 65. What? Ah. Oh shit, that's got something else that I didn't have. Okay. Get rid of that. Comment that one out for now, because I like that. Size of null. Okay, so which one did you screw up on? 79. What is null? Decent tickets. Okay, so yeah, I gotta get those. Yeah, so I need a list of recent tickets. There we go. Now I got a view. Look at that. So I got quick heads up. There's one employee, there's one customer, there are 4 open tickets, and nothing is closed. So there's a quick little heads up display there for the admins or managers of the of this fictitious company. They can also have a view to see how many employees are their list of employees who are here. There's a view profile button, which does nothing right now, but I'll add that in later. Recent tickets. I got to clean this up, give this little pending a little icon thing as well, uh, just to kind of make it look like the other tickets. I'm gonna go through and add in another section as well for. I gotta add an employee view, I think, so that if we either I'm gonna make a button here to view all, I think, or maybe make a button here to add new. Um, or I might just make this big button here, click to add a new one manually, bring up a form to register a new employee, and yeah, that might be ideal. Throw in a little bit more JavaScript. Um, then I gotta make a page to view the customer information. Hmm. Okay. Okay. This is coming along. This is coming along. Also, a lot of these tickets are just me early on spamming, adding shit in testing. But yeah, this is coming along great. Um, okay. So I might aim to wrap this up here soon because my wife is going to be waking up soon, and I got this sort of ritualistic thing where I hang out with her for when she gets up, and she got about 20 minutes or so before she gets up, so I got a little bit of time left. But I'll be wrapping this up here soon to hang out with my wife for a little bit. I will be active throughout the day in my Discord. Um, I'm usually always in Discord chat. If you haven't already, I do encourage to join the community, get involved, take part, give us your feedback on the project where you feel like you want to go. Just join and chat. We're all just a friendly community of developers that like to write shit and help out. If you haven't already, subscribe because I'm going to be going live every morning to do some work on this project. I may pick at it throughout the day and I'll recap what was done in the morning before we dive into some more work. Um, yeah, I intend to do this every day if I can, um, just to kind of blog and keep track of everything that's been going on. And I guess I can wrap up now and do some pushes. And again, if anybody happens to know why these files that should not be tracked are getting tracked, please like leave me a comment. Let me know. I'm super curious. Um, I'm super curious to why it does that. I think it's very weird. It's all put in GitHub and git ignore, so it shouldn't be tracked, but it's being tracked anyway. Like it's weird, weird. Um, but yeah, if you happen to have any questions about anything that was going on, uh, yeah, dude, you can join the voice chat now if you wanted. Just anything you say would be streamed. But But yeah, I'm just gonna finish writing up my little notes and whatnot about what was done, and then I'm gonna call her a night or call her a day. So I'm gonna get ready for my wife to wake up and hang out with her, and I'll be chilling in voice chat for the day. Castiel is now in there with me. Can't hear a word he's saying if he's talking to me. There he is. So if you want to join us in chat and talk about the project or talk about your projects, by all means, come join us. We're hanging out. I'm just gonna wrap up these notes, and I will see you all tomorrow. If you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, you'll get notified when I go live. Thanks for watching. Thanks for chilling, and keep that coffee cup full. Keep that curiosity sharp, and I'll see you in the next one.